Alright guys, here we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
I have never seen Season 2 at all.
Oh, okay.
Literally at all.
Alright.
Probably never at all. I don't even know what I did for that year at Comic-Con, because if they showed this episode there, I did not see it there. They might have certain Comic-Con years, because we're in like the New York Comic-Con, the show is technically already premiered, so they will play episode 2 or 3. I feel like that may have happened that year. I don't know.
Maybe? I don't believe so, but it's possible.
I might have left. I might have been like, I didn't finish Season 1 yet, guys. Peace out. I'm getting a hot dog. And I might have like walked out of the building. I can't imagine that, though, but that's usually how that panel goes. They do Q&A and like jokes, and then they go, okay, we got to wrap it up. It's time to, do you want to watch an episode? Yay! And then like we like do the thing. So I was probably like, peace out, and like left the building.
So Ash starts out. He's in Jacksonville, Florida, where he wanted to be, and things are great. Like the city doesn't appear to be like choked. There's not demons all around it, and they're just in this one little safety pot. The lights are on in skyscrapers. There's like everything seems to be going decently.
And it's still funny though. You still have everyone going, oh no, and then him with the chainsaw, but he's just gonna like smash it into the keg and cause a big explosion of beer and all that stuff. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, he starts off the party right.
Pablo and Kelly are like waiters, and they're like put upon, and like, oh fuck, okay, shit, you don't tip, you asshole, and this whole thing. And I'm like, okay, good. So like they have the exact same dynamic they had when they were like monster hunting. Yeah. And now they're just like chilling. And he's like, no, come on, because we need that money for this. And she's like, fuck, and like do it. It's the same shitty. Oh, it's great.
They get
sorry.
The little tar baby kids are growing up. Whatever you want to call. If they ever say their names, I forget.
Oh.
Ruby's demon children.
We should just call them, Ruby's kids.
Sure.
The 70s sitcom.
So they have grown up, and they are rebelling against Mother, and they're trying to steal the book, and they're going after her.
That's the actual first opening scene.
Yes.
So like one of them gets the book. He like opens to a page, reads something. Then his brother vomits like what looks like weird acidic like vomit and so much into Lucy Lawless's face. And this like triggered in my head at all these panels at Comic-Con. They always joke, yeah, 400 gallons was the record for this season of like just shit that they're covering all the actors with and all that stuff. And here, like in episode 1, you see it on like both sides, or whatever. She gets vomited on profusely by this like black, weird, disgusting looking goo, and then like smoke or like energy or something gets like sucked out of her and like into the demon child.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, interesting. So they might be like trying to like steal her power and like whatever and get her out of the equation and all that stuff. But she still seems to have power because she uses the book and does some stuff, and she casts like a spell to like summon Ash, whatever she says.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Which leads to a couple of Deadites, popping up in sweet, sweet Jacksonville.
Mother-daughter Deadites.
Yes.
Yes.
And our standard action things here. We have a fun mishap where Pablo throws him the chainsaw, and it doesn't quite connect and hits him in the face.
Subversion of your expectations, because
you've seen nothing but flawless connects.
In season 1, it happens like 5-6 times. There's all this, and like it's the exact same weird, clunky, like slow-mo or like reverse or like whatever they're doing, and it like instantly goes onto his stump, and he like cranks it, and then he's like doing his stuff. And yeah, here she grabs his foot, hits him in the face, falls down, all that business. Yeah,
no, it's charming. He kills this mother-daughter team, or the combo of them killed the mother-daughter team. While Lucy's getting sprayed with the black tar stuff, we got them just covered in blood.
So much so, and like
a beautiful amount of blood.
Pablo's getting like tackled by like the daughter Deadite, and like Kelly comes up with an axe and just starts wailing. He's like, I think we're good, and she's like, just keeps going, and blood's just all over him. It's like all these things. When like the mother Deadite dies, her like headless corpse is still like twitching and all that stuff. Yeah, and like her feet are like slipping on like the blood for like forever. It's like so good. There's so much blood everywhere.
No, it's good. And like the seconds before they kill the daughter, like she kills a bartender, and that sprays Kelly. So Kelly just keeps getting sprayed with blood.
No, a guy as if the behind the bar area is like a wood chipper. There's just blood squirting. Yeah, he's just going down slowly into the thing, and then like falls back and just is like holding the arms and goes, oh, and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. But I love how they like fall right into it. You find out, I think, a little later. It's been like about a year. But like the minutes stuff happens again, and Kelly's like, I've been waiting for this. Let's go, and all that stuff. And I'm like, yes,
because it's kind of like anything else. You go from 0 to 60 like for this whole adventure, and then it's like, okay, and now I have a mundane existence where I don't need these things.
And they end up being waiters and shit, so they're not even living like Ash's fantasy. They're living like some weird related thing.
And Ash is definitely fallen into his own. Where like, oh, I needed to be in Jacksonville, and I'm the man. Like everyone loves Ash. Ash is like just shooting things and like.
Oh yeah, he's doing like drunken like shot. He's like pull and like he's like shooting stuff. Yeah, and everyone's cheering like this old guy's pretty cool or whatever. Like
he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like part of it too, right? So he would be the coolest dude to these idiots.
Yeah.
Kelly even says, "No, you're just water trash like everyone else in this town," or something like that. Nice. But it all
sometimes the big fish in a small pond is a good thing.
I have to find myself a small pond.
Indeed.
They find themselves lured out to Elk Grove, Michigan. Because the one Deadite says, Ashy Slashy.
Yes, which is what he used to be called, after he...
Yeah. Did we know that from any other material, or is that just...
That's a first-time thing.
I was going to say. I did not recall that from anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fine. So they go back to his old house. They
have a quest, yes.
And, there's some interesting little, like road montage map stuff in there.
Yeah.
That was nice.
You like that?
You get there, they see his house is fallen into disrepair. We meet his father. Is Lee Majors.
The Lee Majors.
Yes,
yeah.
And I think they have a great chemistry together. I really like that father-son dynamic.
Yeah, and he calls back to some other stuff that happened and kind of embarrasses him a little, and he's like, oh,
they make some $6 million man jokes about his hand.
Oh, yes, I forgot that. It's amazing, yes. The whole thing? How much? We can rebuild you. What? Whatever the fuck? Yeah, that's awesome. They end up going to, like, the local bar.
Yes.
There's a waitress there.
You see his old, love interest, who's with his old, I guess, nerd.
One of the nerds in town is now, like, the sheriff or something like that. And he is not happy Ash is there, shits on him and all that stuff. Ash ends up doing, like, a fuck all you people. You're cool, to, like, the one waitress person there.
Yeah.
And tries to, like, rally the whole people. I forget how that ends before he walks out. No one buys into the whole, like, I'm here to stop evil thing, right? Or
well, why would you?
Why would you indeed?
But what's weird is, so we've set up this thing where Ruby and evil is spreading across the land, everyone except for Jacksonville, there's sinkholes, this and that. She must just be spreading so slowly or not obviously, because the world's not clear. There are demons and deadites and whatever.
You would have expected the scene
I thought a year later, there'd be a throne and the world would be like worshiping to her because she's killing everyone.
Yeah, you would have expected even Ash to say, the sinkholes and then the dead birds falling out of the sky. That's all this stuff. I'm here to fix it, or something weird like that, right?
But even that, would you realize? It's like when you see a homeless guy with the end is near signs. You're like, well, yeah, it is.
No,
whatever.
I talked to him for 38 minutes. He explains his philosophy. Yeah.
Cuts you once for good luck.
Cuts me a few times. Yes. Well, when they're cornered, they get like nervous. They want to just start cutting.
Can't blame 'em.
They figure out Pablo's having like visions and stuff like that. Earlier they were like
bonding with the book.
Earlier they were like draw a sketch of Ruby, and then everyone they show it to is like, what was that, Bigfoot or something like that? They don't know what it is.
Oh, because it's a terrible card drawing of Ruby, and like he put it into like shit or something. It was like stained.
But like when he's trying to draw it, he accidentally draws like a nice artistic rendition of the Necronomicon's face.
Yeah,
and then proceeds to then see weird visions in other drawings and like other things. The homeless guys, please some help sign turns into like the Necronomicon or whatever. And you find out he like admits, I've been having visions for like a year or whatever. They're like nightmares, but I'm awake.
No, it's a cool concept. I still am not in love with how the mask of the book looks on him. It looks a little cheesy for me.
It is cheesy, yes.
But like in a show that is cheesy,
yes.
like and it's like their bread and butter. I feel like they skimped a little bit on that or something, because like it just looks like a little latex something on his face, like.
Yes, but in his vision, when he tries to tear it off and he tears off his
part was
his
good.
Entire face, I was like, that is awesome. I am shocked at how much I'm enjoying that little moment. and then I'm like, oh, it's fake. Oh, I probably
But that's what I'm saying. Where like you bookend this moment with like cool stuff and interesting things and fun things, whether they are expensive and hard to do or not. They are fun, and then like you're like, well, why does that look like that?
The book itself is like underwhelming. Does the book? So like I'm not gonna look at you, so I don't know. But like I wonder if like the book thing comes back into play again, because that would be weird. Because the book's already whole again. It's already got its face back. I don't know why it would end up back on Pablo's face again. So hopefully the vision's the only time we see that happen. But the way you're talking,
I can't recall it ever physically being back on his face.
Okay.
But you know he now has visions. Like there's certainly book related things to come.
I thought it might grow back somehow, like he has it in him or something weird like that. But
there's something like that, but I don't think it. I don't remember actually. We'll see. I'll try not to spoil early on.
One of his, because I'm in uncharted territory here. His visions, though, lead them to the crematorium.
Yes, which I thought was a little on the nose for me, where I'm like,
it being a crematorium.
Not the fact that it is a crematorium. The fact that his description was it was a large brick building, the crematorium. Like there is no large brick buildings.
He says 2 smokestacks.
Yeah, but
and it goes exactly.
There's no other like you know. I don't know. Maybe there are none in this.
With 1 smokestack. There are buildings with 3 smokestacks.
That was the only one.
But there's only 1 building with 2 smokestacks. I don't know.
And like even looking at that building, it was like so gigantic. Like what kind of crematorium is that?
The building's gigantic. It's like a haunted house set almost, like how it all is. Or
it looks like an insane asylum to me.
Yes, definitely. Feel free to talk when I stop and start.
I thought you were going to say something really quick.
I'm okay.
But no, so the set, like, you know, of course, it's an interesting, fun thing to look at, but it didn't seem certainly practical for this small, like, you know, but Michigan town.
Even in the beginning, it's got a weird feel when Ruby's in there with the kids, like running around. I didn't have it pegged as a crematorium because there's like a weird autopsy thing going on. I kind of assumed that it was a hospital or like if not insane asylum, like a sanitarium, like whatever you want to call it, like a weird throwbacky old place that someone was doing something in, some weird thing happening. But
we get more of the living building stuff though in this one.
We do,
which I felt out of place in this context.
We had just commented on like it's kind of strange because Kelly shoots the hatch in the cabin and like it starts to bleed, which I thought looked really cool. But here again too, she's in like she falls down into like a chamber that's like has water in it, and then she freaks out.
That might be fat. I remember seeing a thing
liquids in there.
Yeah, about like when the body like melts off, and like there are certain times that like more obese people can cause problems because like it doesn't drain fast enough, and like fat is flammable and like shit'll burn up.
So I actually wrote in my notes liquid. Chamber filled with liquid.
Yes.
But she goes, oh, and like it doesn't seem greasy, but I don't know what it's supposed to be, or what it like really is, or what is on on the set.
They just have a cattle version of autopsies where they just cut people open and they're pooling blood just leaves into the ground.
Yeah. Well, but the walls then begin to bleed in like hyper.
In a like we're gonna drown you way,
and it keeps filling up or whatever. And that's like so like she fights her double, and then she's strangling herself, and then there's like a floating skeleton dude, and then there's a whole nice little dumb thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
It's super dumb. I like it though. These things have like an Indiana Jones Temple of Doom vibe. Where you're like here at wonderful Universal Studios, and someone's like trapped in a thing doing something, right? Like it's like cheesy definitely, but have a soft spot for this dumb.
Yeah,
like,
the way they approach it is so like it's the opposite of heavy-handed, where it's like it's like kid gloves. I'm like, this is enjoyable. It's fun.
Like if the walls had started like going in on her, I would have been like, yep, we got it. Like anything.
Yeah, that's how they clean.
Would have been I would never be like, what is this building? Why are the ceilings so high? I would never like do that for this type of thing. It's just like what it is.
Yeah, because there's no rational explanation for anything that's happening. So.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's written itself into a like the opposite of a corner where it can do anything.
It's written itself into a clearing,
into a loft.
Ooh, so they've split up, right? That's like Kelly's thing. Pablo, saves her after his thing, which is his amulet makes him invisible to demons. The amulet, that we joked like it's done nothing but hurt you so far.
Yeah,
finally has like a good thing, and we get this awesome
until he wants to be seen by demons.
We get this awesome scene of the demon like right here in his in his face, like smelling him, looking like I thought he was here. What's going on, right? Doesn't put his hand out, but hey, he's invisible. He's magically invisible to demons.
Yep,
whatever.
Finally, the Brujo did something.
I like that there's trinkets. Anything in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or like any paranormal thing where you have mortals doing stuff. Constantine, right? He'll grab like a vial of something out of his belt and like pour it, and it'll be this weird thing. Warlock, all that old stuff. Anything with weird talismans or trinkets or that have weird like effects. They have like the dagger in this. They have his amulet now. All these things.
The dagger that he
big
just
fan.
Tapes like with like one wrapping onto his shotgun.
Onto his shotgun and goes like, yeah.
To maximize the stickiness of the dagger and make sure it can fall off very easily.
So now we're on Ash. Ash has a nice suit-up, power-up Sailor Moon transformation sequence. He even puts on the old shirt.
Yes.
And the strap thing and the whole, all the different stuff. And then like does this one and then winks at the camera, slams the trunk. Super cheesy. I wasn't sure where his part of it was going. But he ends up doing like a him and his shadow thing, and at one point puts up this arm, and the shadow puts up the other arm, and goes oh, and like tries to switch, but then just does both, and goes ah, and then jumps out and all that stuff.
As one of the baby demons.
Yeah, it's so funny. But that reveals that they have this like shadow power. Yeah. Which I love this. When the demons like run away, they kind of like do like one or two little hops or like starts, and then they like fall into the two-dimensional like surfaces, and they're just shadows hopping up and like getting out of the thing. I had a recurring nightmare as a child of a monster that was coming after me, and like whenever I tried to like fight back, it would like turn into a shadow. It was like, so I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. This is like an actual thing.
They stole this from you.
Well, but the way it's like implemented here, where like it's not a like three-dimensional shadow walking through the world. It's like skipping through all the different surfaces.
Yeah, that like have shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like conductive on like the stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's such a good effect. That's so much better than it has any right to or like need to be on this thing. But they picked this awesome, stupid thing. I'm like, great, 10 out of 10.
No, that they have some interesting concepts and visual styles in these shows. Makes me sad they didn't go farther, but
well, for me, there's still 2 full seasons to go. Yeah. I can't wait.
I would like it to be on its season 20. I want them to go until Bruce is in the ground.
You could have done this forever, so I'm kind of interested to see. You already know this, but for my purposes, like, how does season 3 end? Are we like fuck, or are we like yeah, I guess whatever? Like, every season's kind of every 1 out of 1 seasons that I've seen has kind of ended in a way, right? I didn't like the ending of season 1, and we're very quickly back on track to like the
sure. That's the beauty of it being almost like a cartoon, where this like it's like okay, we just want to tell stories, we just do this now. Okay, good. All right, here we are.
Well, let's make this happen.
Yeah, and it works. Ruby gets some FaceTime with Ash.
Yeah, that's where it's
Ash's
all going.
mission, as he thinks, is to just kill Ruby. Ruby tells Ash about how, like, no, the kids are the real evil. I want to stop them, such and such, this and that.
Yeah, and my children have betrayed me.
Yeah.
I need your help.
And what does she get, ripped up through the ceiling?
One of them shows up, and he's like, hey, I wasn't done with her yet.
Yeah.
And she's holding a book, but it's not the Necronomicon. She's holding a autopsy guide or something like that. So it's like, oh, nice. And they get all pissed. They're like, he like stabs her with his with one sharp finger that he grows real quick or whatever. And then Ash is like, what does he say? Oh, those damn radar eyes. Whatever old man way of saying that she's got whatever eyes. And then he's like, oh, do I save her because it's the right thing to do or because she's hot? He goes through this whole stupid thing. And he ends up saving her. He shows up, does a whole thing.
And, we get a nice Ruby friend now.
Well, like, shooty, chains, he's like, huh? You want some? And then he's, like, chainsawing his stomach, and, like, it's so good. The demon just, like, smiles at him.
Yeah, they're very powerful.
Well, and, like, Ash is like, you feel that? Huh? You feel that? Do you? Do you? I was like, that's amazing. Because, like, the smile was so good. Like, this is such, like, a basic sort of cheap, like, effect for them, where you're like, you got black eyes, you got goo and stuff. But
like a hollow black eyes. It's not, or the absence of eyes is more accurate.
Voids where the eyes should be. But it's just like a wet mask. It isn't like a whole like weird CG where there's holes or something, right? But like it's super effective. When it like smiles at him, I'm like legitimately creeped out, and their weird like sharp teeth and all that stuff. I'm like, ugh.
Like street shark teeth, like.
The design of it is very creepy. When the ones first approaching Pablo, and it's in like four-legged mode where it's like head is backwards and
Yeah.
it's like shambling around. I was like,
But the head
oh
is
my
backward,
gosh.
and not like exactly a the Thing kind of way. It's more
No.
like a cheap digital version of the Thing kind of way.
Yeah, but like watching it, and they're playing like the chicken bone snapping noises as it's like coming back together.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's creepy. Okay, this is pretty good. These are the because they could just be jokes where you're like, yeah, it's just a guy and it's a joke or whatever.
No, they
But
definitely put some effort into it.
they're
And yeah,
working
something
for
about
me.
the simplicity of just like it's like no, it's a person covered in like black goo.
Yeah,
It is creepy.
blue and black or whatever, and like they're like tight and like they look like they're gonna be like strong and like wiry, and they are. They like pounce on people. They're very fast. The shadow techniques, like
Yeah.
oof, like not a good. But they do kill one, which is nice. The dagger is apparently 100% effective
Yes,
on these things.
as it should be. I think it's 100%
Which is
effective
handy.
on all deadite-ish things.
I'd be like, Ruby, we have to make 10 more of these daggers.
I don't think that's possible. I think it's legendary or whatever.
I know it's a legendary item. Your party can only have one, so obviously they can't whatever it. No, yeah, I'm like interested how that's gonna happen because that seems super OP. But the other two brothers now know that that's
A thing, yeah.
an insta kill, so they're probably gonna be aware of it and try to like intercept it or something like that. So
I know I
that's
would.
cool. I know I would.
Yeah, and they still want the book, of course, because they have some plans or whatnot. They need to make more acid vomit, maybe.
No, I forget if they ever articulated. They were just kind of like, is it just like the time for humans is over, that sort of stuff again, where they're just like, we want the power.
I believe more or less something like that.
Yeah. So I guess Ruby turned out to be a benevolent dictator who they should have left in charge, and these are like the real bad people
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Why is her hair pink?
New season, new you.
New season, new you.
A year takes place. You have time to do some fashion choices.
Okay.
It's not easy being king. Sometimes you got to have some confidence boosters.
I wonder if she'll go back to her old look, like, instantly. We'll see.
I think at some point she's a different hair color.
Because in the poster, she just looks like normal Lucy
I
Lawless.
took all those pictures the first season.
Good looks.
Yeah.
There's a nice little there's a nice little interaction here where he's like, "You really fudged the bowl this time, didn't you? And you want me to strap on some rubber gloves and scrub it down with you?" And she's like, "I am instantly regretting summoning you."
I love the line where he's like, I was in the middle of some mommy-daughter threesome action or something, and you ruined it. And her face, it cuts to, she's like, ugh.
Yes.
Like very classic Xena disgust face.
No, it's wonderful. I wrote that down too. It's I should be in Jacksonville right now, sliding my spicy mammy between a mother-daughter sandwich or something.
Yeah, that's it.
And she's like, oh, like as wonderful as that sounds, you can still do that once we straighten out this business with the book. Like she's like, I can't believe you.
When he says, Pablo, we're getting tequila on you or whatever,
Yeah.
he goes, you know why? Because it's the drink of my people? And like, that's
a little
that's
racist.
racist there, Pablo.
Yes, but then okay, so like probably like the humorous low point is when he says he says that joke again, and they go, "You already used that one." Yeah, word for word, dude. And he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah,
no,
Alzheimer's, yeah.
that's a bad people memory disease. Alzheimer's? Why would you bring that up? That's a bad
Yeah.
person memory disease." And I was like, "Oh, that's really shitty. I hope that's not like a in there for
Every
a reason."
once in a while, there's
Yes.
some lame jokes like that.
That's fine.
That just don't land. Usually they're not Ash delivering them. Usually they're
Yeah.
what's her face.
They usually give them to Kelly.
Yeah, and,
No,
and
that felt really
I've
bad.
thought about it a lot. Where I'm like, is it are these bad lines or are they just delivered poorly? Because some of those lines that Kelly has that are bad, I'm like, if Ash would have said that, would have been hilarious. I don't think there was any saving this line.
No,
though.
it's like unusually bad, and like my fear is that sometimes on a show like this, I think Sam Raimi was like literally hands on for the pilot. He might have hung out for season 1 or parts of it, right?
I think he was
And,
literally there for episode 1 only.
And like never came back or
I
never talked
believe
to
that's
anybody.
true.
All right,
I
well,
think he is an executive producer in title alone, in that like
Okay.
they're using my car and my character and whatever.
so.
And I could be wrong, but
Sometimes in a season 2, regardless of what we know about this show, people who were more involved on season 1, Sam Raimi, maybe somebody else, right? Other people who were doing stuff who had talked to Sam Raimi or had a certain vision. Some writing staff can like rotate, and people kind of have the attitude of like, okay, we've established what the show is. Now we can just go cruise control and just keep doing it. You guys just keep doing that, like whatever you were doing, and then you can end up with like lame jokes or like weird plots or like dumb stuff happening.
that line though, the fucking memory old people disease, I picture that being directly appreciated by idiots, though. I could see that being the water cooler thing, and then he says, blah, 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 like, and idiots quoting that to each other.
That's by far the worst line I've seen in life.
Oh, no. I agree that it is potentially the worst line of the show.
I was just going to say, is it the worst line so far in all 11 episodes?
It very well
might
be, but I do think that it is a line that was directly marketed towards children or idiots.
Mass media audience?
Yeah, I think that was a well-received line for a majority of people.
The format
although we think it is terrible.
The format of the joke is a very common format.
So that's why it goes to the lowest common denominator of your most popular amount of people.
So I guess I get why. So like there are cliche style jokes that are in a lot of things that I don't laugh at them, but I go, I know why that's there. That's fine. This one like cut me. It was like, that's really bad.
It felt like a Disney Channel joke to me, even though like they probably wouldn't make fun of people for having Alzheimer's.
Yeah, no,
but that style.
No, but exactly. Joke. It feels like writing for like PG-13 audience for like a PG audience. Sure. It feels like a bad thing.
Like, you didn't graduate 2nd grade. Here's a joke.
Harriet the Spy.
Don't you dare insult Harriet the Spy.
I never watched that.
Michelle Trachtenberg and Rosie O'Donnell, Jim.
My understanding is she was a spy.
She was.
Okay. Last thing that I liked, Ruby's like, we gotta like partner up and do this. You can trust me. And Ash, he's like, hold on a second. And he like turns to Kelly and Pablo and he goes, you guys good with this? And Pablo was like shaking his head like no. And Kelly's like looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he comes back, he's like, we're good. And he does the whole thing. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Because that's like, not only is that a callback, but like little things like that establish the relationship between the characters.
Yeah.
I think is so good. And just Pablo.
Well, and his disconnect like, to the things around him.
Or whatever,
in conjunction with how much it's just like, well, it's my show, bro. And not even like, it is my TV show.
No,
this is my party. I do what I want.
It's my rodeo or whatever. Because this is like, I instantly thought of the scene where, I forget, it was when they were going to summon the demon that caused them like half of season 1's problem.
Yeah.
And
that sounds like a real nerd.
And Pablo's like, should we get Kelly in here? We could do like a vote, because he's like, obviously no one will ever sign off on this. This is so dumb. And he's like, come on. And he's like, how do I stop this? Oh my god, and trying to like figure it out. It was that same like, what? No. And then he's like, okay, it just goes. So that was maybe the high point, that like subtle little dumb thing for me.
It's funny stuff.
Other bad thing was when his face got hit with the soot. And like the pipe and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that. But that's the
almost expected poop.
Oh, poop tube.
Yeah. Then you realize they're in a crematorium and you're like, it can't be poop.
That's the kind of joke that I was like, I see why that's there and that's dumb and I'll like forgive it though. That was like the level.
Oh, there's lots of those all over the place.
Perfect. Good. Yeah. All right, and that's episode 1.
That's episode 1 of season 2.
We have a foursome. We're charging forward. We're gonna end these last couple.
I think you wanted this foursome in season 1, right?
I wanted a different foursome. But I like a foursome. I like
and Lucy Lawless and Bruce Campbell are nice together. I like them. I like both those characters independently. Of course, when you put them together, you get nothing but joy.
Well, and she's a good foil for him too. Where like he has these two people, but it's like a Blade 3 scenario where they're kind of like he's like the mentor, and they can like argue, but he has veto power. He can just
and she actually knows what's up,
and she can be like, no, the ritual has to be done like this. He's like, fine, okay, and he can like go do the thing. Right? We have a nice dynamic now, potentially.
All right, guys, that's episode 1 of season 2. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.